Hey, Tati here, and in today's episode, we're going to talk all about wrapping up and reflecting on 2020, probably one of the most unexpected years yet, as well as planning for the new year. So this is a great practice to help you understand the ebbs and flows of your life. Whether you consider yourself to have had a great year or a horrible year, there are always lessons to be learned and ups and downs to every experience. So if you're interested in reflecting upon 2020 and preparing for 2021, then keep on listening. Welcome to Calmly Coping, where I provide overthinkers with actionable tips to cope with anxiety and stress calmly and mindfully. I'm your host, Tati Garcia. I'm a licensed therapist specializing in anxiety treatment and a high-functioning anxiety coach. I love running, and I'm addicted to self-improvement books. Join me as I help you understand how to cultivate calm from within while uncovering your unique strengths so that you can live a more fulfilling life. The end of one year and the beginning of the next brings a time for a fresh start and renewed motivation for your goals, hopefully. A lot can happen in a year, and especially in 2020. So it's important to be able to review and reflect upon what worked for you and what didn't in the past year. I'm also going to be talking about planning for the new year and how you can set intentions and goals for the year ahead. And just as a note, this episode is going to be kind of like interactive. So I'm going to be asking questions and then giving you time to reflect after each question. So in this episode, you're going to learn the importance of reflecting upon a previous year, whether it was good or bad, 12 year-end reflection questions to help you learn from the previous year, and 6 questions to help you plan for 2021, along with concrete tips to help you get started on the right foot. This is episode number 32, Reflecting on 2020 and Planning for 2021. Thank you so much for tuning in. So this quote is by philosopher Soren Kierkegaard. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Quote, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." Unquote. 2020 was quite a year. It was full of uncertainty, anxiety, stress, and fear. But it was also full of reconnecting with what truly matters, keeping others safe, and learning how to be flexible as well as adapting to change. Reflecting on the past year is an excellent practice to help you learn and grow. Because like the famous saying says by George Santayana, quote, "Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it," unquote. So I'm first going to talk through some reflection questions, providing some space for you to think about them after each question. I want to do things this way so that you have the space to reflect without having to sit down and grab a journal or computer to type away, but you can certainly do that if it works better for you. Then I'm going to walk through planning for the new year, which will include setting intentions and goals for yourself. This episode is chock full of quotes, but to quote Benjamin Franklin, quote, "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail," unquote. So let's look at some year-end reflection questions. What was the biggest lesson you learned this year? What changes did you experience in your mental health this year? What steps did you take to cope with your mental health this year? Think back to how you felt in December of 2019. How do you feel differently now? What is the biggest accomplishment you had this year? What is the biggest challenge you had this year? How do you think you have grown throughout this year? What helped you feel the most calm and relaxed this year? What stressed you out the most this year? When did you have the most fun this year? What are you most grateful for this year? And what would you say to yourself in December of last year to help give you motivation for 2020? Now, I want to talk about a bonus tip that I think is really cool and that I've done myself in the past. So, what would you say to your future self? And where do you want your life to be? And how do you want to feel in a year from now, or in 6 months from now, or in 5 years from now? I love the idea of sending a letter to yourself, speaking to your future self. And there's this website that you can use that helps you to do that. This is in no way sponsored. This is just a website that I really enjoy. It's called Future Me, and you can find it at futureme.org. And I'm also going to leave a link in the show notes. So it allows you to send an email to yourself at any point in the future, and it's free. So I think this is a great thing to do to practice what might you want to say to your future self. Now, if you want a full list of my 25 year-end reflection questions, then you can download that free PDF at calmlycoping.com/reflection. Now let's talk about planning for the new year. Think about the year ahead and reflect upon how you answered the previous questions about 2020. How do you want things to be different in 2021? I want you to focus on the things that you can control, because we can't control where things are when it comes to the pandemic or any other external factors. What are the top goals that you want to accomplish personally and professionally? And I suggest scheduling out some time before the new year or in early January to sit down and write down your goals for 2021. So here are some questions that you can start with. What steps do you want to take to improve your mental health in 2021? What goals do you have for your career or for your education? How do you want to improve your relationships? How can you use what you learned in 2020 to help you grow more in 2021? These are just some questions to help you get started. If you want to take it even further, then I suggest grabbing a calendar and planning out the goals that you have for each month or for each quarter, and be specific. Maybe you're going to start with doing research for a career change, searching for a therapist, or researching an online course that's going to help you achieve your goals. Here's to 2021 being a year full of promise and hope. And your action tip for this episode is to take the time to reflect on 2020 and plan for 2021. Choose a day or a few hours when you'll be able to sit down and reflect. And you can grab my PDF with 25 year-end reflection questions at calmlycoping.com/reflection. So put this into action and let me know how it helps. I'd love to hear your feedback. You can DM me on Instagram at TatianaGLPC or email me at tati@becalmwithtati.com and let me know. And if you found this podcast episode informative, then please leave me a review with your thoughts on iTunes. It really helps me out. While you wait for next week's episode, I have other episodes all about decreasing anxiety, adopting a healthy mindset, and managing your time and energy. Thanks for tuning in today, and until next time, be calm. Thanks so much for listening. If you like what you heard, please share this episode with a friend, and please subscribe and leave me a review on iTunes. Also, remember to check me out online at calmlycoping.com and connect with me on Instagram at TatianaGLPC. All content here is for informational purposes only. This content does not replace the professional judgment of your own mental health provider. Please consult a licensed mental health professional for all individual questions and issues. Till next time, I'm Tati, and this has been Calmly Coping.